So here's the big question. How are entrepreneurs like us, who have been hustling and struggling to make it to success, who seem to make it one step forward only to fall two steps back, who are dedicated, determined, and driven, how do we finally break through and win? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Brian Kelly, and this is the Mind, Body, Business Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mind, Body, Business Show. I say this every show, and this one is no different. We have a phenomenal guest lined up for you. Mr. John Terry, the black belt leader, is in the house. He's in the studio. He's waiting to come on. He's chomping at the bit. He wants me to be quiet so he can come on, and I don't blame him. But real quick, before we get started, the Mind, Body, Business Show, just to set it up for you in case this is your first time watching, it is a show we had put together for entrepreneurs by entrepreneurs. And our sole mission is to bring on the best of the best, the most successful entrepreneurs who have great values and great integrity to help you to take your business to the next level. So it is like attending a seminar and not paying a dime for it. And I have been doing this show now for almost 3 years. And I'll tell you, the value is immense. And so if you just take notes and then take action on what you're about to hear from John Terry tonight, then you'll see improvements, vast improvements in your business. How do I know this? Because I myself take notes while I'm doing the show, and I act down on them. And my business has improved vastly as a direct result of interviewing people like John Terry. So just hang with us, have some fun, comment, say hi. The Mind, Body, Business Show is based on what I call the 3 pillars of success. In my, now 56, almost 57 years on this planet, I spent about the last decade of that or so studying only successful people. I wanted to know what the heck made them even more successful than myself. And after I started researching and studying, I started noticing patterns developing, and 3 things kept floating to the top. And you've probably guessed what those are by now. They're on either side of me on this screen if you're watching on video. It's part of the name of this very show. Mind, body, and business. So mind means that each and every one of these successful individuals had a rock solid, yet even more importantly, flexible mindset. They also took care of themselves physically. That's what body means, physically, outside through exercise and inside through nutrition. And then business. Business is multifaceted, but what each of these individuals had done was mastered the necessary skill sets that were required to build a thriving and growing business. And skill sets are wide and varied. There are skill sets like marketing, sales, team building, systematizing, leadership. I could go on most of the night. There's a lot of skill sets that one must master to create a thriving business. The good news is no one person needs to master every single one of them. Because let's face it, mastering one of anything takes a good amount of time. So if you just master one of the skill sets, in fact, I mentioned it by name as one of them that I listed off, then you can basically write your own ticket. And that one skill set is the skill set of, I'm gonna love this one. It's called leadership. And we have a leadership expert in the house coming on in just a few moments. His name is John Terry. He is going to rock it for you. I cannot wait to bring him on. So once you have mastered the skill set of leadership, maybe with John Terry's help, then you can bring in and delegate tasks to those who have mastered those other areas like sales, marketing, whatever you have not yet mastered. Make sense? So another phenomenal trait of the very successful people that I studied was to a person. Every single one of them were voracious readers of books. And we're not just talking any books. And so with that, I would like to segue into a little segment I affectionately call Bookmarks.
Bookmarks. Born to read. Bookmarks. Ready, steady, read. Bookmarks. Brought to you by reachyourpeaklibrary.com.
Yes, there you see reachyourpeaklibrary.com off to the side of me if you're watching live or recording video, if you're listening on audio podcast, and if you're moving by any chance, pull over, relax, take some notes because you don't want to miss a single thing. And this is no exception. In fact, I would implore of you to take notes, write things down rather than click away, rather than succumb to that itch to go check out all these resources. I know John Terry's going to bring a lot. ReachYourPeakLibrary.com is a very valuable resource. Write that URL down. And why do I say that? The reason I say that is honestly, the magic happens in the room. And this is a virtual room. I get that. If you were to take your gaze away, your attention away, at the very moment John Terry dropped a golden nugget that could have changed your business life forever, I would feel horrible. And so please don't do that. Please keep your attention and gaze on this show, on this screen, on John Terry. When he gets here, it's coming right after this, so that you can get the most from this. It's like attending a seminar. Treat it as though you paid upwards of $500 to attend, and then you'll get the most value from it. I kid you not. That's what we're all about here. So reachyourpeaklibrary.com. What is that exactly? I was never a voracious reader until about a decade ago, honestly, maybe 9 years ago. And I finally started reading after I heard so many other people saying over and over and over again how powerful it was to read books, and not just any books, the right books. And so I began reading voraciously. And as I did, I started compiling a list of all of those that had a profound impact on me, either in business or personal life, or even both. And so I put them here under one roof for you. This is all for you. This is my gift to you. This is not what I would call a money-making website. All of those buttons go to Amazon, so you can buy those books in whatever format you desire. My advice to you is just pick any book that you have not yet read on this list, whichever one jumps off the page. Don't even scroll down any farther. Just take action, get it, read it, and then implement what you've learned from it immediately as soon as you can. Then go get the next one. So that's what reachyourpeaklibrary.com is, and it's here for you. And you know who else is here for you? The guy you came to see. So it's enough time of Brian yakking all the time. Let's bring on the amazing John Terry. Here we go.
It's time for the Guest Expert Spotlight. Savvy, skillful, professional, adept, trained, big league, qualified.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, the black belt leader himself, John Terry. How are you doing this evening, John?
I am quite well, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Ooh, this is going to be so much fun. Oh, I love it. He's got his book propped up behind him. We'll talk about that for sure. Writing a book is a phenomenal thing everyone should do for their business. And this is what I love about guys like John and gals, is that they don't just talk the walk, they walk it. Did I say that right? They don't just talk the talk, they walk the walk. There we go. There we got it. I can be trained. So real quick, before I give this man the introduction he deserves, a little bit of housekeeping. If that's cool with you, John, I'll get through real quick. All right. Thank you, my friend. Because, you know, we got to pay the bills here. The Big Insider Secrets, you see the logo way up there over John's left shoulder to the right of the screen. If you're looking at the screen, it is called thebiguinsidersecrets.com. Wonderful company, wonderful human being running that, named Jason Nast. He has sponsored this very show so that you who are watching live, if you watch and stay till the end, you can then qualify, and we'll show you how. You can qualify how to win a 5-night stay at a 5-star luxury resort. Again, all compliments of the Big Insider Secrets, and we'll bring up that information toward the end of the show, so stick with us. It's about an hour in length, the show, roughly, so hang with us. That doesn't mean go away, then come back just for the prize. No. You want to learn everything you can. Stick with us. And then we got a couple more, and we're going to move on into John Terry. So if you're struggling with putting a live show together and it's overwhelming and you want a lot of the processes done for you while still enabling you to put on a high quality show, that's very important, and connect with great people, even more important, and that would be like John Terry, and grow your business all at the same time, then head on over to carpetbombmarketing.com. Carpet Bomb Marketing. Saturate the marketplace with your message. And one of the key components that is contained in the Carpet Bomb Marketing system, one that you'll learn how to absolutely master, is the very service we use to stream our live shows right here on the Mind Body Business Show. Over the course of the past, it's been over 9 years now, we have tried many of these quote unquote TV studio solutions for live streaming. And I'm here to tell you, StreamYard is the best of the best. It combines supreme ease of use along with unmatched functionality. And so you can start streaming high quality, professional looking live shows for free with StreamYard right now. And again, just write this down. Don't head on over to this URL. Stay with us. Write this down, ryp.im/stream live. One more time, ryp.im/stream live. And now it's time to bring on the man of the hour, literally of the hour too. So quick intro, and then it's over to John. A two-time martial arts Hall of Fame inductee. I mean, I already told him right before the show that if I'm ever caught in a dark alley, I want him next to me. John brings years of black belt experience to helping people, young and old, discover and develop the black belt leader within and lead themselves with black belt excellence. I love the branding for this. They can then use their leadership and influence to create high-performance, people-centric, values-based, non-leader-dependent teams and make an impact right where they are. Powerful, powerful intro and bio. Thank you so much for that, John. And now officially, formally, welcome to the Mind Body Business Show.
I am so excited to be here. Thank you.
Oh, man, I was so looking forward to this. You and I met virtually back in January, I believe.
Back in January. Yes, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember seeing you, and it was great the way it was all broken out. We got to talk to each other. You know, it wasn't just an event. We're all sitting in empty seats. And then, you know, your daughter was there. She's an amazing young woman. That's a big testimony to you and how you brought her up, and you and your wife. So, and phenomenal. And you just really stood out to me in so many ways. It was obvious that you weren't a tire kicker, that you've been doing this a while, and you know what you're doing, that you're successful at it. And I said, we got to have this guy on the show. Thankfully, how many months later, we finally got John.
There we go.
So the bio is great. I love finding out more about someone's successes, their accolades. What I like to do initially, right from the get-go, John, is go into a topic I'm sure is near and dear to your heart, and that's the one of mindset. And
Absolutely.
From that, I mean is, you know, when we get up every morning as entrepreneurs, it's wonderful. There's nothing. It's smooth sailing. It's a piece of cake. We just get on our hammock and sway and drink an umbrella drink and rake in the millions, right?
Right.
Yeah, right. Yeah, nothing could be farther from the truth, and he knows that as well. And so I'm curious, based on knowing that every day has its challenges, every single day has its challenges. For those of you that have not started down the entrepreneur path, every day has its challenges. Knowing that, for you, John, when you get up, what is going on in that big, beautiful brain of yours? When you get up in the morning, you know what's in front of you. You know the challenges you're facing from the day prior. And then all throughout the day, what is going on in your big, beautiful brain to keep you motivated, to keep you crushing it and changing people's lives?
You know, Brian, when I wake up, and by the way, thank you for the invitation. So excited to be here. But when I get up in the morning, I've done the preparation the night before. And one of the things that I've learned from my mentors over the years is that starting your day the night before is so extremely valuable. Because when we sit down and try to figure out all the things we have to do during the day, there's 100 million things that can go wrong during the day. But if we can start in the evening by thinking through what did we learn and what did we experience during the day that we learned from? Where were we successful that we can repeat? Where did we fail that we can learn a lesson so we don't? And build that into my thinking during the night. And then in the evenings, as I'm getting ready, I spend some time reading. Like you, I'm a voracious reader. I love to read. We can talk more about that later if you'd like. But one of the things I do before I finally turn out the lights and go to sleep is I sit down and I figure out, if I can get nothing else done the next day, what are the 3 most important things that I have to get done? And that becomes my big rocks for the day. The opportunity that if I'm going to have to move a bunch of rocks, what are the 3 biggest rocks I've got to get out of the way first? And if nothing else gets done, those 3 big rocks have to be taken care of. That's how I start my day.
And I got a question for you. And I just loved having a chat with you before we came on, because I was hammering you with a lot of questions there as well. And you were so wonderful in respectfully answering me on all of them. But when you sit down to chart out what those 3 things are, what point are you personally in your evening? Is it right as you're getting ready to slip into bed, or is it before dinner, before the food coma hits and you still have the thought processes working? I was just curious how that works for those of you that do that thing at night.
Yeah, that's a great question. I bookmark my days. This is something I learned years ago from a couple of my mentors. And so every morning I start my day with a routine. Every evening I end my day at the very end of my day with the routine I just described. Because during the day, you don't have a lot of control over what may happen because life's going to hit you at some point, and oftentimes it hits you several times a day. But if you can start in the evening, and I do that right before I go to bed, so that as I'm sleeping, my mind and my subconscious, which never goes to sleep, is constantly sorting through and going back to all my life experiences, all those memories, and helping me map out a success plan for tomorrow. So when I wake up in the morning and I'm getting ready and I'm going through my get ready for work routine, my mind already goes into what were the three things I identified last night that are most important, the mission critical things that have to get done. And then what did I filter through my thinking and my dreaming and my sleeping over the night that has given me ideas maybe I hadn't thought of, or an innovative solution to engage when I walk in the door to the office and get things going.
You know what's going to happen with that one, John?
Oh, I know it's coming.
That's right. My goodness, dropping bombs of knowledge, bombs of wisdom, and smart bombs right there. And I hope everyone wrote that down. Can't emphasize and agree more about that, because we did this. I'm NLP certified, neuro-linguistic programming certified. And one of the things we talk about often is, before you go to bed, right before you go to sleep, just as you pointed out, John, is ask yourself, ask your subconscious to solve an issue you had that day. That's right. It will work on it. And the next day you'll be amazed at how easy you can overcome so many things.
Absolutely.
And so similar in approach to what John is talking about, especially the time at which he does this right before he goes to bed. And that's phenomenal. So thank you for that. And another thing, I hope folks write this down too, because there's another pattern that has developed, and it's in the mind realm, I would call it, of the mind body business, 3 pillars. But John just explained what it was. He does it twice. He does a routine in the morning and then another routine at night. I've heard of many doing one, especially in the morning. I've heard of some doing it at night. Rarely do I hear of 2. And when you want to become successful, all you need to do is look at someone who's achieved success, that level of which you wish to acquire and achieve, and model it. It's that simple. And so maybe John will be open to sharing his routines with those who come closer contact with him. Maybe reach out to him and see if he's a fit for helping you to take it to the next level. We'll get to that in a little bit. So I'm going to guess I know the answer to this one, John, but would you consider yourself to be an avid reader? You already said so. You already said yes. Even so much that he reads so much, it all spills over into a book of his own, sitting right behind him. And so what book are you reading now that you would say is having the most, or what was the last book you read that had the greatest impact on you to date?
Well, I'll answer both those questions for you because I think they're both valuable. The last book I read that had a really significant impact on me was a book written by Jeff Henderson. The book is called FOR, F-O-R. It is a powerful story of understanding and identifying the gap between what you want to be known for and how the public actually knows and recognizes you.
Wow.
And Jeff shares his experience in working with Truett Cathy at Chick-fil-A. He's been on staff at Andy Stanley's church. He brings a wealth of wisdom in sales and marketing. But that gap between what we want to be known for as an authority figure, as an expert, as a brand is one thing. But if the public doesn't see you as what you want to be known as, that gap is the opportunity for you to achieve something unique and different in the marketplace. That was the last book I read that was really impactful. What I'm currently reading is a book written by Mark Batterson. It's called Win the Day. It is a phenomenal book. I'm about halfway through it, and it's about 7 daily habits to help you win the day. And Mark in the book goes back to sharing a speech that was done several decades back by an individual that shared that anybody can do just about anything they want to do as long as they follow a specific process. And one of the things that he talks about is learning to live life in day-tight compartments. And think about that, a day-tight compartment, because all too often we spend our days regretting what we failed to do yesterday And we're constantly living life looking in the rearview mirror, worrying about what we can't fix because tomorrow's over and it can't be undone. And then we're anxious about what may happen in the future that hasn't yet arrived yet. And we get so caught up in either living in the past or being anxious about the future, we fail to live life today. So just like a ship has watertight compartments that prevent it from sinking, we close off the door to the past. We close off the door to the future so that we can live in today.
And I wanted to bring this up. So what you've just done is you've provided everyone with a gift right there of 2 books that hopefully if they have already heard of them, then they know, okay, well, these are pretty good books and I agree. Or they haven't heard of them and they say, I'm going to go get them. Well, that's what I do. So I'm taking notes as I said I would. And I've got the book references and I love this. Thank you for that, John, because a habit I have developed, and I'm just saying this to recommend a potential, someone else to do something similar, is when you hear someone like John of his stature recommend books that have helped him, then why wouldn't you want to pick up the same book? Model success. All you have to do is, success leaves clues.
Yes, it does.
I'm pointing at him right here. There's one right there. And he just gave 2 references of 2 books. So when this show is over, one of the first things I do is I go back through my notes and I get on Audible and I purchase every book that was recommended. It's in my library. And that's just my thing. So I want to give that out as a potential tip for people moving forward. Thank you for that. My gosh. I mean, the day, I notice when I put down the things I want to accomplish in writing on my tablet, on my tab, I tend to get them done.
Absolutely.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I keep looking at them and I'm like, okay, and I get them done quick. And there's very few side elements disrupting me, similar to what you just talked about. Keep it in, what do you call it? Day tight?
A day tight compartment. Yes.
Compartment. Yes. That is really cool. Thank you for that. And we're talking about books, John. So let's do this. Let's showcase yours. If you don't mind, would you hold up your book and give us a little rundown of what that's about?
Yeah. This is Black Belt Leadership. This is a work that took me over 2 years to develop. This is the quintessential book on leadership for anyone who wants to discover the Black Belt leader that I believe lurks inside of every one of us, that's simply waiting for us to discover, develop, and deploy. In this book, I teach the 10 essential leadership qualities that you need to implement into your life to be able to master your life at any and every category that you want to achieve, whether it's your mindset, your emotions, your career, your relationships, the team that you're leading, your sales and marketing. These 10 essential leadership qualities will help you take each and every one of those areas to an entirely new level.
It's coming. Yes.
I love getting carpet bombed. Yes.
Very worthy of that honor because that's phenomenal. And one thing I want to point something out that most people probably didn't even recognize or realize that, well, they don't know that I never even told you, John, that I was going to ask you about your book during the show. Never said it before we came on. I did. And what happened? John was prepared. He was ready. He had it down. He's got his talk down. And even if he referenced a sheet on his computer, I don't know. But if he did, he's prepared. He didn't know this question was coming. And I love the fact that, that shows the professionalism, the quality, the value, the integrity, everything about you, John, that people should be attracted to and model and copy. And so I so appreciate that you came prepared, that you're a professional. That's what you exude when you do stuff like that. In my eyes, they're like, my God, I love this guy. I love this guy, John Terry. He's awesome. And so looking forward to many more discussions off camera with you, Absolutely. John, in the future. Yes, I know that we can help each other a lot going forward. We have some things we're doing kind of common. And so that was, we talked a lot about mindset, and what you did when you get up in the morning, books, that's also in the mind genre. When it comes to fitness though, John, what is that for you? Does that play any role of importance? I think I know the answer to this one too, but I want to squeeze it out of you, see what you say. What kind of role does your health and fitness play in your overall life and your performance in your business?
Fitness to me is important because a healthy body helps lead to a healthy mind. I've got a 95-year-old German Shepherd. His name is Hans, and he periodically hijacks, more frequently than not, my Facebook page, and he constantly shares the story of his interactions with humans. Here where I live, we have about 50 miles of hiking trails that are just north of the city. And so he and I disappear up there a couple of times a week, sometimes if we're lucky 3 times a week, to get in a 5 to 10 mile hike. And when we do that, he constantly has some little comment about a dog's perspective on humanity. Started that during COVID just as a way to kind of break up the monotony of everybody dealing with all of these stressors. And it's funny because I was on an international conference just a few weeks ago, and we're seeing people from different parts of the world. We were popping in and out of these networking rooms, and as I would pop in and somebody would see me that I'd never met, they would look at me and say, "Oh, you're Hans's person." And so here I'm being recognized from around the world because of my silly dog. But fitness to me is important because if your body is physically fit, you're going to be able to do things, and you're going to be able to think at a different level because you're not having to deal with all of the issues of obesity and all the things that come with that slow down our thinking, that impact our ability to be creative, to have those opportunities to see success. So for me, since I'm no longer a school owner, I've got too many obligations and other things going that I don't get a chance to do martial arts like I did 3 or 4 nights a week and train for 3 or 4 hours a day. I try to get out and try to walk. I try to do running. My daughter Jessie and I do some running periodically, but I try to spend time keeping myself physically fit for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's good for my body. But number two, I find that when I'm out taking those runs and I'm taking those walks, I can just turn my mind loose and I can let my mind run. And all of a sudden, as I'm getting this adrenaline dump and all of these chemical releases that come from exercise, these creative, innovative things that are just lurking around in your subconscious, all of a sudden begin to come out. And where I may be stuck on something, I'm 3 miles into a hike and I'm having a conversation with my dog, and all of a sudden the answer to a problem, just there it is. And I'm like, oh, where'd that come from? So I yank my phone out of my pocket, make a quick recording so I don't forget it, and stick the pocket back, and away we go. But yeah, fitness is a very valuable part of that for me. And I think it's for anybody that wants to achieve black belt excellence in their life. It has to be balanced. It can't just be the mind. It also has to be the body. And those two together give you the opportunity to see success in business and in life.
And it's true. The mind and body are a team. And more importantly, they are your team.
That's right.
And so a lot of people will say, well, I will work out extra hard and that will give me the right to eat another donut when I get back. It's like, well, no, they work together. So cheating is not a good approach when it comes to food. And what I like to call fit, I used to be a certified personal trainer. I had a business for 7 years on the online space. And it's, I like to call fitness like the best wonder drug on the planet.
Oh,
it has
absolutely.
no side effects,
Yeah.
but only side benefits. And they are numerous. And you named off a few. Another great tip, another past guest expert gave me was right before he was going to take on an arduous task, one that was going to take some effort. Right before he was to begin that, he would plan it in. He would do his workout right before it, because that's when you've got, like you just said, the endorphins and the heart's pumping. Yeah. The energy is way up. You don't need an energy drink. All you need to do is get off your rear end and put in some exercise. That's right. You don't need to be, if you're a guy, you don't need to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger did in his heyday. Many guys, that's why we work out. We're like trying to look all buff and everything, but it's about just being healthy and working at peak performance. And with women, you don't need to look like a supermodel as far as your body is concerned. Just keep moving like John does. Go out, hike, do what you like, but make it physical, and then eat and drink good things. Wow. Right. I didn't expect to go off on that whole soapbox, but you got me going there. I'm passionate about that one. That was very, very insightful. So I want to pivot a little bit more back to your specific business, if I can, John, and talk about, your branding is be a black belt leader. I love that. I love how you branded off of that whole experience, and that you've integrated that into every piece of your business. I think that's just genius. So what are the kinds of people you work with? Where are they in their business? Are they just starting out? Do they have 200 to 500 employees, 1,000 employees? What are the type of people you work with the most?
You know, because of what I do, I have an opportunity to work with a variety of different audiences. Where I've had an opportunity over the last several years to see some success working in either the sales and marketing side of what we do or a few of the other areas with entrepreneurs, with small business owners. One of the things that I found, and an area I'm really focusing on right now and trying to make a difference, is in the area of working with small business owners, 200 to 500 employees. Because if you think about what's going on in America today, 85% of Americans are walking into the door of the place where they work one paycheck away from the poorhouse. 2/3 of them are obese by CDC standards. And as a result of that, they're dealing with all of those health-related issues that come from not taking good care of their body. And 56% of them are either divorced or on the verge of divorce. And as a result of that, they're bringing all of those stressors into the workplace, and it's diminishing productivity. And as a result of that, I like to describe most business owners today, especially the small business owners, they've got a group of white belts working to try to deliver black belt results in their business. But they've got to deal with those core issues of mindset, of dealing with the money issues, the relationship issues, the health and wellness issues, and bring some health and wholeness to their people. Because their people have the potential to be these incredible black belt leaders that can perform at an extremely high level and have an opportunity to upscale the results of a business if the business owner will do one thing. I want to go back real quickly to the book 4 and Jeff Henderson in his book 4, because he makes a statement there that he had an opportunity to take a ride in a vehicle with Truett Cathy. And he was talking about developing and building business. And Chick-fil-A, which is the brand there, had an opportunity to see 50 consecutive years of year after year growth in their business model. And when asked why, Truett Cathy made a statement, and I don't have it exactly right, but I'll give it to you just kind of in a paraphrase. He realized early on, much like Henry Ford did when he brought in Charles Schwab, that they weren't in the business of creating chicken sandwiches, or they weren't in the business of making steel or cars or whatever. That those individuals were brought in and understanding that it's the development of your people, the consistent and continual development of people that make a difference in your business. And when you develop your people, that's how your business grows. So, Brian, if you think about it, a business does nothing. A business is a corporate legal entity, but it does nothing. It's the people in the business that bring about the results of the business. They are your business's most important asset. They give you the greatest return on investment if you invest in them, but 99% of employers never invest in their people.
And that is an actual bomb dropping moment right there, for sure. Because look, that's one thing that's so often overlooked. I'm so glad you brought that up, John. The people are what make the business, that make the company.
That's right.
It's not just this thing that makes money and works on. That's one of the things I've noticed too, is like the management and the owners don't take enough time in nurturing their people and bringing them into their culture and all the things that go with that. There are so many intangibles. That was that skill set I mentioned in the beginning of leadership.
Right.
And we have a master of how to get you there at a black belt level on this show right now. And look, here's how important this is. Again, if you master the skill set of leadership, then the rest you can delegate to.
Absolutely.
And why not, make that investment of time at least to reach out to Mr. Terry and see if there's a fit for you to go forward, to move forward. And if he's not a fit, I'm sure he has other resources, other
Absolutely.
people you can go to. Maybe you have 2 employees and you're just not a fit. That's okay. Reach out and he could probably send you along to someone else, or maybe he still can help you. I don't know. Maybe he will. Maybe you are a thriving business with multiple franchises everywhere and you have 2,000 employees. Maybe that doesn't fit but it doesn't. You won't know until you reach out. That's the whole key. Is just do it. Just say yes, and then see what happens from there. If you aim at nothing, you are certain to hit it. That's one of those things I like to say. But definitely reach out to him. I want to pull up your website real quick and take a gander of what you have going on. There's that handsome guy. You see Mr. John Terry on here twice. Don't just be a leader, be a black belt leader. And what was the term you said? You have a bunch of white belts doing. How did you say that again?
Yeah, most businesses have a bunch of white belts that have incredible black belt potential that has yet to be cultivated, has yet to be discovered. And if you want to have a high performance team, You've got to get the people on your team from being white belts that can't perform to being black belts that perform at a world-class level. It's possible in any business to make that happen, but it simply requires that the business owner be willing to invest in his people.
That is very cool. And so I'm imagining you have different ways so you coach them, it looks like.
Absolutely.
And training for them and their team. This sounds very, very cool. I hope businesses, many of them, invest in this because, again, like you said, and you know it better than anybody, that's why you're here to help them get past it.
Absolutely.
There's a need for it. And there he is, man. Yeah. I'm scared looking at you right there. I know that you're a gentle, kind man, but if we're in a dark alley, I want you by my side with me, not against me. And you have a lot of training going on. I noticed. I was taking a look, and so I love look at the branding of this, ladies and gentlemen. That of those you watching this live or even a recording, even if you're on a podcast, then slip on over to the mindbodybusinessshow.com. Then put your mouse over on the past shows, navigation bar on the far right, and then you'll see John Terry's name in that list, and pull it up and you'll be able to see what I'm talking about in the future. But look at this. I mean, it's all about mastering. Oh, I love that word. And here it is, master mindset. And, mindset really is the foundation and it's the core reason behind your success or lack thereof. And I'm talking about everybody out there, not just you, John. And I know you resonate with that. Master communication. Look at all this: selling, leadership, teamwork, relationships, career mastery, emotions. Oh my goodness, that's a good one to go with mindset. Master yourself, money mastery. What is master yourself? If we want to pull one of these apart a little bit.
Yeah, mastering yourself is really learning to understand who you are and how you have been uniquely hardwired to see the world, understanding your gifts, your strengths, your weaknesses, what stresses you out that causes other people to respond negatively to you, the things that you do. It's a study in behavioral analytics and having an opportunity to get into understanding human behavior as it relates to you. By the time we're 8 to 10 years of age, Brian, our core belief system has been established based upon the input from parents and others in our lives. And we live life through this filter that oftentimes we don't realize that filter is there, that changes the way we view the world. So mastering yourself is an opportunity to really go through a series of exercises to discover who you truly are, what's important to you, how you treat relationships, how you treat health and wellness, how you treat money, how you treat your career is all based upon how you've been trained by people that you didn't even know were training you in those formative years of your life. But it created the foundation by which you actually interact with other people. And so it's a way for you to discover who you truly are and how to really become your best self.
I love this from so many vantage points, John. It's because, when I first started my entrepreneur walk, it was all about, the what and the how to get it done, the tools, the resources, the split testing, the marketing, the ad copywriting, all the physical things that need to be done. And they're important. But what I realized after many years, that very few concentrated on the core reason that people are either successful or they're not. And it comes to things like mastering yourself. It comes to mastering your emotions. It's about the mindset that is going on inside of your beautiful brain, whoever
Absolutely.
you are.
Yeah.
And that's what I learned finally at about the age of 47 or so, the importance of mindset. And it changed my life in profound ways once I understood it. And then the next step for everyone listening, if you have not gone down the path of mastering your mindset, then I would say consider John Terry and just go look in and have a chat with him. We'll give him away. I'll give you ways to connect with him here toward the end of the show. Where the website, actually, I didn't put that up. I'm going to do that here in just a second. So you can see the website later. Write this down. Don't go to it. It's beablackbeltleader.com. So beablackbeltleader.com all together. And you'll want to visit that after the show is over, and definitely reach out and connect with them. Go look at his offline trainings, or online trainings, I should say. These are all online guided trainings. Is that true?
We have online, and then we have in person, or we can do, virtual trainings.
I mean, I wouldn't have expected anything less from Mr. John Terry. Come on, the guy is so prepared and so complete. Just an amazing guy, and so you definitely want to follow someone like him, and he's a great dad. Testament to that is his daughter. She's going to be on the show next. She's coming up next, and is she even 20 yet?
She just turned, today is her birthday. She is 22 today. She's one of 6 children I have. And all my kids are amazing in their own way. But today she celebrated 22. And what did she do? She spent it pouring into the lives of kids.
And there we go. Testament to the ones that brought her up. So congratulations and kudos for
Thank
sure.
you, sir.
My gosh, I have 2 adult children myself, not 6. So, and congrats on that too. My God, God bless you. Woo! I don't know how people do that. That is amazing. So I appreciate that. And again, the branding. So listen to things that John is talking about, even without doing it on purpose. He started something really cool and did a series of videos of the life through his dog's eyes and ears and mind. I thought that's pretty cool. And that's how people recognized him. He was Hans's person. He was the dog person. Yeah. And it's unique. So the whole point of that is to say, do something unique. Now, John, I don't know if you had any intention of that coming back to you as far as business connections, but it looks like it did.
It did. Yeah.
And that's
it was just for me. It was just something fun to do, just to, have an opportunity to be creative and give somebody a chance to smile while everybody was stuck at home during COVID. And I could sneak off to the woods and go hike and have a great time. And, it's fun.
He's having a great time. And the key thing you're doing, John, with all of that, when you did the video with the dog, is people are getting to know you as you.
Yeah.
Authentically you, because you have humor involved, with your dog. I think that's genius. And unintentional, again, for getting more eyeballs to your business. But here's what the key always keeps coming back to for me, John, and that is continue to just show up.
Absolutely.
And look, it doesn't have to be a webinar every time. It could be walking your dog, and now someone will go out there and do it from a cat's viewpoint. That could be really hilarious. Like, every word out of their mouth will be no. no, I'm not doing it. No, I'm going to do my own thing. We had cats, a lot of them over the years. So that, and then the branding, things that make you stand out. And I'm talking about you specifically, John, the whole black belt thing with the writing that looks kind of Asian. Is it Japanese?
It's Japanese. It's kanji. Mm-hmm.
There we go. And so the branding is genius. And in his talk, he talks about people starting out as white belts that have the potential of being black belts. Think about that for your own branding. I just love that. Model this guy. There are so many intangibles going on here. That's why I wanted to bring them out. Sorry, John, to blab so long, but I wanted to make sure people got that there's a lot going on under the hood and has gone on under the hood, your hood, by the way, in great ways that people, I just want to, want them to know. I just want to teach them and let them know that, look, he's a product of the product. He's doing it. He's not just talking it. So I love that. You've never had any setbacks, right? Or failures?
Man, who hasn't had a setback or a failure? Yeah.
So if you could think of one of the biggest ones, just because they're more juicy, and maybe describe it a little bit, one that you're willing to, and then, but the most important part is really what happens after it happens. And that is, what did you learn from it?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think back to early 90s. I was working as a campus pastor at that point in time at a local university. Our pastor brought in a friend of his that was the Christian CPA for the 700 Club, this gentleman by the name of Malcolm McGregor. And Malcolm did a seminar at our church. I had an opportunity to spend some time with him, and he just took me under his wing the whole time he was there and just loved on me and just poured into my life. And we had a common passion for money, and that's where part of the Master Your Money thing came from. But at the end of that, he came to me and said, John, what are you going to do with all this knowledge you have? I said, Malcolm, I'm 23 years old. I mean, what's a 23-year-old going to do? And he looked at me and he smiled. He says, write a book. I did, and it changed the world. So for 2 nights, I couldn't sleep, Brian, and I didn't know what to do. So I went and bought a computer I didn't know how to use, and I sat down to write a book I didn't know how to write. And I wrote this book that ultimately ended up being published by a Bible college. And I put this book together. I thought it was phenomenal. And then after they published it and they sent it out to go out to this seminary for pastors and prospective pastors to read, to learn how to manage money from a biblical perspective, I got a copy of the book and I started reading through this book. The grammar, the punctuation, the misspelled words, it was absolutely atrocious. And I remember thinking, oh my goodness, what have I done? In looking at making this horrible mistake in trying to write a book I didn't know how to write, and trying to put something out and not taking the time to think through it. But in spite of all that, people read the book. They forgave the misspellings, the punctuation, and the other things because they found the content valuable. And here's what I learned from that. You don't have to be perfect every time you do something. Don't let perfect be the enemy of getting something done, but continue to strive to be a better version of yourself. You know, one of the neat things people don't know about black belts is when you earn your black belt in the martial arts, it's not the end of the journey. In traditional Japanese martial arts, there was a white belt and there was a black belt. Everybody started as a white belt. And after a year, 2 years, 3 years, after you demonstrated to that instructor that you were dedicated, that you were persistent, that you were teachable, and that you were going to have that integrous spirit about you, that you were going to honor the tradition and lineage of that art, he gave you a black belt. That black belt was not a signal or a symbol that you had arrived. It was a symbol that you were just now a serious student. And only then did you get to stay after the regular class was over to start really training in the martial arts with that instructor. Now think about that in life. We all think we've arrived. We go to college, we get the degree, and we think we know it all. We never pick up another book. We never study. We never do anything. And as a result of that, we really adopt what Ray Kroc said, which I think is a very famous quote of his. He says, as long as you're green, you're growing. But once you're ripe, you start to rot. Well, our world today is full of rotten leaders, rotten business owners, rotten people, because they've stopped developing themselves. Think about the tomato on the vine. It's beautiful until it stops taking nutrients, and then it withers, it turns black, it falls, and it's nasty. It's not usable.
Oh my goodness.
So the black belt journey is a lifelong journey of being a student, of being a better version of yourself.
And that just reeks of hope.
Oh, absolutely.
Of joy, that reeks of so much to look forward to in life, that reeks of there is no end in sight. I love it all, and mean in a very positive light, because I've asked this question of quite a few of guests of mine, John, that, you know, what if there really was a ceiling? And there was a point where, John, you're going through the success ladder all the way up, and you're hitting against the top, and there's no more. You've reached every goal, and there is no higher goal left. You cannot go higher. What would life be like when there's nothing else to aspire to and to increase to?
Yeah, I don't know what I would do, because every day when I wake up, I want to be better than the person I was the day before. And
the whole black belt metaphor was just that, the opposite.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that's another thing. Oh my gosh, so many things going through my head on that. Phenomenal. John, my God, is a lot of people will spend all this time, months, creating a product. And then once it's done, they go to the movie of build it, and then they will come. They think, oh, I'm done. I'll just sit back and, shoeless Joe Jackson's going to show up on my doorstep and out in the cornfield.
Yep.
And that's I was talking with, I just finished a product not long ago, several months ago. It took me a year and a half of dedicated work to get it done. And when I was getting close to being finished, I was talking to my wife, and I said, well, I've almost got it done. She's like, wow, that must be a relief. I said, well, actually, the real work is about to begin.
That's right. Yeah.
Because now you got to market and sell. Right. See, you get to, not got to. Yeah. Market, sell, everything that goes with being an entrepreneur, a successful business. Now it really starts.
Yeah.
That was a lot of work, and it was hard and it's arduous, but that wasn't anything compared to what the next phase. And I like that.
Yeah, I do too.
Because if there's nothing left, well, even when I finish a goal, I'm kind of like sad and like, well, I got to find another one and raise the bar even higher. Yeah. And thankfully, they do exist. There is no ceiling. You can never hit it. because I think life would just flat out, I'm going to say a 4-letter word. So plug your ears. It would suck.
Absolutely. I agree with that. Yeah.
Well, my goodness. Let's see. What are we doing? Oh my God, John, 10 minutes? Are you kidding me? So that's a good sign. I think Brian's been having too much fun on this call or this show. My gosh. Okay. Thinking about the options. Okay. I like this one. So you're an entrepreneur. You've been one for many years. And have you ever worked in the corporate world or as a job, maybe even as a kid?
I have. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So good. This is a perfect question then.
Yeah.
So having all that experience on both sides, in one word, if you could pick one word, what would you use to characterize your life as an entrepreneur?
As an entrepreneur, Brian, I would say driven, because every day when I wake up, I think of the people that have yet to discover that black belt potential within them. And every day they're living life wondering, is there something more? And if there's an opportunity to speak to someone every day to say, yes, there's more. I believe in you. Here's how you can discover, develop, and deploy that black belt leader within you and become an expert at whatever it is you want to become an expert at in life. That's what drives me every single day.
Driven. I love it. I love it. Yeah, and I've gotten different responses for that. That's a powerful question because of the responses, and that was another phenomenal.
That's a great question. Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, it's unfortunate, but I've been in the employee corporate world as well, and it's, to me, a lot of times it's like The Walking Dead. There's a lot of zombie stuff going on these days. That's what they look like. They're just marching to the beat of the corporation's drum, doing something they don't, have any passion to do, doing it when they're told, how they're told. And they're kind of like a robot, just there to collect a paycheck every week or 2 weeks or whatever it happens to be. And I get saddened when I see that. It literally saddens me knowing that these humans have such potential, but they have no, you said the word, drive to go seeking anything different. Maybe it's only.
And I fault the leader of the organization by not taking the time to get the people passionate about what it is that business does and get the buy-in on the values and the goal and the objectives of the customer that they serve and how serving that customer can bring success to everybody on the team. They're failing in that. And one of my mentors is John Maxwell, and he says when he looks at America today, his leadership's sad because people aren't leading themselves, and they're not leading their businesses, and they're not leading organizations to see success.
What is the number one way to become a successful leader, other than obviously connecting with you? That goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. But where would one start to say, you know what, I've never led anybody, but I do want to start a team. Now that's not in a situation that you normally deal with. You're looking at 200 to 500 employees. I get that. But for someone who's just starting out, would you have an answer to say, I would start by doing this and then cultivate your leadership skills by doing X, Y, and Z?
Yeah, I would start with reading this book. Because in this book, this lays out those 10 essential leadership qualities. The first of those is belief. Until you believe there is a black belt leader inside of you waiting to be released, waiting to be developed and deployed, nothing's ever going to happen. Until you believe there's an opportunity for you to make a difference at a time that makes a difference, you're never going to step out and do that. So you've got to start with learning to lead yourself well and make good choices. That's how you become a black belt leader in life. Because once you learn to lead yourself well and make good choices, you can now model that behavior before others, because people do what people see. And when you can model self-leadership well and then teach others to lead themselves well, all of a sudden you've up-leveled everybody on the team. And now everybody on your team is not just a follower, but a leader.
What would be an example for a good self-leadership? I mean, is it discipline? Is it routine? Is it everything put together? What is, is there something specifically that someone can do?
To me, it's persistence and consistency. Every day when you get up, you got to understand that what got you to where you are yesterday is not going to help you advance today if you're not growing and learning. Just like there's no end to the journey of being a black belt, there's no end to the journey of learning personal growth and development. So for anybody that wants to lead in any capacity, they have to start with personal development, because you can't lead people where you yourself haven't gone. And one of the statements I've heard from Dr. John that I love is he says, if you think you're leading and nobody's following, you're only taking a walk. How many leaders are walking alone because they're not leading?
Wow. Oh, so many. Okay. My finger was twitching on the bomber button.
I was waiting.
Well, then, I'm going to provide. Well deserved. Oh my goodness. So many of those have been dropped tonight. And for those of you that are listening only, there's a graphic that there's a flying bomber airplane dropping bombs that have knowledge, wisdom, and something else on it. Smart, labeled on them, that are being dropped by Mr. John Terry. So we have some fun with that. Okay, we're only 4 minutes out. So before we end the show, John, we got a little bit more to go. I like to ask every one of the guest experts that appears. Your daughter will be asked the same thing, so don't give it away. But I like to ask one question to kind of finalize the show. And it's a powerful question like the one earlier that you answered about where your answer was drive and being driven. And it's been a really profound question over now the years of doing this show. And I've just been unbelievably blessed to have found this question, because of the types of answers that have come back are just off the charts amazing. But before we do that, I did promise everyone watching live how they could win a 5-night stay at a 5-star luxury resorts, compliments of the Big Insider Secrets. So in the beginning, remember, I was very adamant about, paying attention, staying with us. The magic happens in the room, take notes, all that good stuff. Well, I think John will agree that just for a moment, you can now take your attention away and grab your cell phone if you have it handy. Go ahead and do that, and then open up your text messaging app, because here is how you enter to win. I'll put that up on the screen. And where you would type in the name of the person that you're about to text, instead put in this phone number. That is 314-665-1767. I advise you write this down real fast, because we're going to move back into John. He also has a gift to give away as well. Again, that number is 314-665-1767. And then where you go to type in a message, that area where you would put in emojis and things like that. So no emojis, just straight text. You want to type in 2 words separated by a dash. And that is peak, P-E-A-K, dash vacation. Peak dash vacation altogether. After you send that, keep an eye out on your phone. You will get a response automatically. I use a lot of automated systems in everything I do. It's been phenomenal. And it will ask you for your email address. Once you provide that, you are then automatically, go figure, entered to win this phenomenal prize. And now we come back to John. John, I understand you also have a nice giveaway for folks.
Absolutely.
Mind explain that? I'll pull it up on the screen.
Sure. Yeah. If they'll simply go to my website, beablackbeltleader.com, and click on the training tab, at the top of that page, they're going to see a picture of a knight kneeling. And in that, this is a complimentary 30-minute training, which is a synopsis of a 4-hour course that I teach on overcoming the enemy of defeat in your life. Too many people go through life knowing that they failed, and they allow that failure to hold them back. Well, going back again to the martial arts, failure is an enemy. Defeat is an enemy. And if we can learn the battle tactics defeat is using to bring us down and making us feel like that we are a nobody, that we don't have potential, that we can't grow, we can't become a better version of ourselves, it chains us and it restricts us from growing. So in this 30-minute training, I'm going to teach you how to recognize the tactics defeat uses to try to hold you down and suppress you from growing. And I'm going to give you the action steps to overcome a defeatist mindset and have an opportunity to be able to expand in growing your potential.
I'm going to do it. You're just so prepared. It's awesome. So impressive, John.
Thank you, sir.
I appreciate you so deeply, because I can tell you're a man of preparation. You are ready to go. Unfortunately, there aren't that many like you that I run into on a regular basis. They're out there. But the level of preparation. So the reason I wanted to kind of harp on that for just a moment is when you're looking you, the audience, when you're looking for someone to help you, when you're looking for that next step, when you're looking to, let's say, achieve a higher level of leadership skills, you want to do that with somebody who is going to treat you with the utmost of integrity, with quality, with respect, with professionalism. And I'm here to tell you, I don't need to see anything else from this guy. He is the man. John is the one for you, because he has put the forethought into every aspect of his business. And guess what's going to happen when he works with you? The same thing. That is the beautiful thing about it. This is how he shows up in public, so that he will show up for you as a client. And so I've seen this over and over, John, and folks that have their stuff together like you do have their stuff together. Like when it comes to working with clients, fulfilling on a client's needs, getting the results that they came for. I know, I can tell without even having been a client of John's that he would take me to the promised land. And of course, you're going to need to put in some work too. He's going to guide you. That's why it's called coaching and training. So know that. But there's no like magic pill or fast or easy button, but it's simpler if you go through someone who knows what they're doing, who can take you to that promised land quicker. So appreciate you. So real quick, the URL for his complimentary 30-minute on-demand training. This is on how to overcome the enemy of defeat in your life. This retails for $197. You can get this training for free by going to beablackbeltleader.com/training.html. Important note there, training.html, all of that is lowercase, no capitals, in other words. The rest of it you can change any way you want, but beablackbeltleader.com/training.html. Get your free 30-minute training and take action on it. Treat it as though you spent $200, because if you don't, you'll probably just go on and not do anything with it. And you don't want to do that. You don't want that self-help to become what I call shelf help.
That's right.
That's right. Let's see. And we have a wonderful, very special guest viewing from China, Dennis Nurmela. He's been on the show. Actually, almost 3 years ago, he came on the show. Another very astute businessman. Thanks for coming on, Dennis. And hello to you from America. Back at you. How you doing, buddy? Thanks for coming on. Well, we're about at the end of it. So we got that one final question, though. I didn't forget, John. Nope, I would not forget that. No way. So there's a couple things about this question, and then we'll get to it. One is, there's no such thing as a wrong answer. It doesn't exist. It's impossible. And in fact, it's just the opposite. The only correct answer is your answer, because it's personal in a way that it's unique to you. That's what I mean by personal. Mm-hmm. That's it. And so some people will have it like, boom, instantly. Others ponder and think for a while. Doesn't matter. Whatever time it takes is perfect, because it's your answer. So there's no pressure whatsoever. Sound cool?
That's cool.
All right. So are you ready?
I am ready.
Yeah, of course you are. He's prepared. He didn't know this question was coming, though. So.
No, I didn't. Yeah.
All right. Here we go. John Terry, how do you define success?
Success for me, if I were to think about how I would define it, that's a good question. For me, success is about adding value to other people. It's an opportunity for me to be able to help somebody that knows that they have been put on this earth to accomplish something of significance, that there's something burning inside of them that says, I want to do more. I want to be more. I want to accomplish more. I want to make a difference. Success for me is not the money. It's not the prestige. I learned long ago, it's not about me. It's about other people. So success for me is helping people, truly go back to what I've said throughout this entire interview, helping people discover, develop, and deploy that black belt leader within them. Whether they want to be a successful plumber, a successful architect, a successful business owner, a successful husband, a successful wife, a successful student in school, helping people discover their full potential and release it so they can learn to master their life. That to me is success.
And you had bombs dropping right through the whole thing and didn't miss a beat. I love it. And I appreciate you, John, truly, sincerely.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir.
For, how you model you're a great example for your daughter. That's obvious. I'm sure for the other 5 as well. I don't know how you did that. 6. Wow. But truly, truly, sincerely appreciate you. Real quick, what's the best way for folks to reach out to you and connect with you and have that conversation to move forward?
Absolutely. The best place to find me is my website, beablackbeltleader.com. If they want to connect with me on social media, they can simply go to the contact tab at the top. And on that tab are all of my social media links. We post on a variety of different social media outlets every single day, so that I'm constantly sharing tips, tools, resources. I have a weekly newsletter that they can subscribe to for free. We have a podcast on Anchor that goes out once a week, so they can connect with all the major media there and have an opportunity to follow me.
Man, and you've got a lot. I haven't even heard of Gab. That's awesome. Parter,
That's a new one. Yeah.
Back. I know Parter was shut down for a while. USA Life. All right. That is awesome. And so he's got an email address and everything is on this page. So remember, it's beablackbeltleader.com. For those of you listening on the podcast, write that down, beablackbeltleader.com. Click on the contact button on the top nav bar, and it will take you to a screen where you can get his email address, his phone number. Arizona, wait, you're Arkansas.
Arkansas, yes, sir.
Yeah, because I'm AZ. Yeah. Arkansas, Hot Springs, Arkansas. Love it. I won't give out your address here. They have to go look for it. All right. So got to give them something to do here. Fantastic. Thank you so very much for everything, Mr. John Terry, the Black Belt Leader. So that's it. It's a wrap. The show is over. One last question, and this is a bonus for everybody involved. John, if you were to run into somebody today on the street, doesn't matter how old, but they just got the hankering. They said, you know what? I'm tired of my life. I want to run my own life. I want to be an entrepreneur like you, John. I've never done it before. But John, is there any way, someplace you could point me? What direction? Where could I start? I just need to know where to start. And then the rest can fall into place. Or I'll come back and ask you what's another step. But John, if you were to tell somebody who's looking to take their life to the next level, become an entrepreneur, what would be the first step of advice that you would give them?
The first step of advice I would give them is to, number one, identify the audience they want to serve, because there are people that need help all the time. And if you can identify the audience that you want to serve and have an opportunity to serve them with passion and conviction and integrity, you will be successful at whatever you put your hands to do. Now, the skills and all the other things you can learn, you can gain. Everybody starts as a white belt. When you started as an entrepreneur, it's no different. So you're going to be a white belt when you get started. And that's where you need to connect with someone that can help you grow and let you understand what you don't know, because we all don't know what we don't know until we find out. But yeah, just really identifying who you want to serve and go serve them. Look for people to add value to them. Make a difference in other people's lives, and people will seek you out.
I got to tell you, I got writer's cramp. I filled up my notepad and I started writing sideways because I ran out of room. That's a sign of a good guest expert. Not good, phenomenal, way above the bar. And I'm so fortunate in the fact that I met you in January, and we're going to continue to see each other. I know next week we'll see
Absolutely.
each other.
We're together next week. Yes.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to seeing how we can help each other in the future. And I just wanted to part with that, just to let people know this is how it really works under the covers, behind the curtain, is people helping each other, collaborating, not competing. There's so many clients to go around. It doesn't even matter if you're in the same exact genre. Some people are gonna really relate to John. Others will relate to me, even if we were doing the same exact thing. It's okay. There will be more.
Yeah.
So just help each other and collaborate, network, and make the world a better place, like John is doing. And his definition of success, he said it. It's not about money, and that's the other interesting thing, John. That has been the common theme of every guest I've asked that question. Isn't that cool?
Fantastic. That's good. Yeah.
It is.
Means you're having a good guest on your show. Yeah.
Yeah. One mentioned it, but it turned out that was the ends to the result that they were looking for was freedom and liberation. It was a piece of it. And don't get me wrong, people watching and listening, money is important. It is important. It's vital.
It is important. Yeah.
But the definition of success that most people that have achieved a certain level of it already never involves the word money when they're describing it. It's just I love that. It's so amazing. All right. We're going to finally let John go because it's later there than it is here. And I appreciate you, John. And thank you all for watching and listening, even if you've been live. I can't wait to see who's going to win that wonderful vacation giveaway. And those of you listening after the fact, I appreciate you. And don't forget, you can tune in and watch live if you haven't on themindbodybusinessshow.com. Just scroll to the bottom and there's an opt-in form. We'll just remind you of the next show coming up. You can opt out anytime when you get tired of it. But we're here for you, and John's here for you.
Absolutely.
And now John is here forever because his video will be up on our website and all over the place. He's just going to be everywhere now. So on behalf of the amazing John Terry, the black belt leader, I'm your host, Brian Kelly of the Mind Body Business Show. Phenomenal show. Thank you, John. That's it for tonight. We'll see you all again next time. So long and be blessed.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for tuning in to the Mind Body Business Show podcast at www.themindbodybusinessshow.com. My name is Brian Kelly.